Good morning. I hope you're all here for painting stream. I gotta flip this. I need to set this down somewhere safe. Like over here. The design of this easel is not my favorite. Maybe someday I will get metal easel, like I had in college. I didn't own it, it was just in the paint studio. There we go. Luckily I was kind to myself and made marks exactly where it should be. But the problem is making it level, and that looks right. There we go. Better. Morning, Josh. Oh, my apron really squeezed up on my body. All right, now we're ready to paint. Radio Dread says, have you had the same easel since the start of MalMakes? No. For the first year, I want to say, I had a metal easel. It was like some cheap thing from Amazon somewhere. Like a folding travel easel. It was terrible. I remember having to like hold it sometimes as I to grab it as I painted because I would knock the whole thing over if I wasn't careful. And then at some point I bought this. And then the first one they sent me, the shelf was broken. So then they had to send me a new one. So this one is fine. It's not great for what I do currently, but it works. Like, there's a top piece that slides down to clamp the top of the canvas. And I don't particularly like that because then you have this like little spot where you have to repaint later. And it's also meant to go up a lot taller with that, because that can only go so low. I can't even get down here with where I paint. Nothing stopping you from breaking the easel shelf right now and getting a new easel. It has never frustrated me enough that I feel like I need to buy a new easel. My coffee's been different lately and I don't love it. Our Keurig broke and we had to get a new Keurig. So we did. And it came with all these little sample packs. And they're all caffeinated and Steven hasn't been drinking caffeine, so I'm the one who's drinking them and I do not like them. So they may become ones that like Jeff or someone drinks when they come over. If they are okay with drinking them and like them. Or Josh next time he visits. All right, we're gonna read some alerts. We have painting to do. I can put this in mod chat for ArtQ, I suppose. I have to go find it. Where is it? What was a week ago? There it is. Save. Mod chat. There we go. I did some Photoshop with this image. Vagabond. Woman who struggled with chronic pain for years feels as if putting up with an easel that has limited her abilities for years is fine with dealing with said easel. It doesn't hurt me. There's just sometimes when I have to move the shelf, I'm like, ugh. I have a raspberry seed in my teeth. So this image is me trying to do something in Photoshop to see exactly what I want to do with this glaze. Because when I looked at this, I did not love the water, the color I ended up choosing. And we had talked last week about doing a gold wash, so I wanted to see what that would look like. So I Photoshopped versions of it. So this one, if we do A, B, C, D, E, F, F being the lower one over here, A is how it is now. And then you can see where the water is blue on 3, 4 of them. And then the gold wash. And I don't love the gold wash over the water in some of the lower land masses here. But I do like the water blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the water blue so it's closer in line to this. And then we're going to do a graduated wash where it's yellower here and then it kind of fades as it gets closer to this, so it's not making all of this yellowy green. So that's what we're gonna do. Can we see it again? Oh, it's back in the queue, I assume. There we go. So what I'm going to do is this one here. So it's yellower up top and then it fades out and then it's blue water. Because this one down here is all yellow wash. So you can see how gray it makes everything. So we're going to do a fade, not like this one. When I was in Photoshop, I was cutting out individual land masses so I could like make this 100% orange and then like 70, 30, 0. Yeah, I spent a long time in Photoshop last Friday. So I have fluffy brushes for glaze because you want it to be a soft fluffy brush. And then the other thing I can do is if I put it down and it's too much, I can like wipe with a paper towel to kind of clear it off some of this. The other thing I can do that's going to take a lot more time is I can do kind of like a very thin, transparent wash over the sky. Then do my wash down here and then let this dry. And then once this is dry, do a second one and end it like here. Like just on the sky in Mount Fuji. And then when it's dry, if I really want to, like I did with the dewdrop painting, I can bring just a tiny bit more white back on some of these clouds just to make them pop more. So those are some things I can do. I need my paper towel went over there because I was treating wastewater. So let me grab that and then we will start. And then the other thing today is, once I am done here, we are gonna release a painting for time-lapse and eBay. The bike painting and Redbubble. So that's coming out today too. I have it all ready. I just have to go click buttons because I can't like schedule, I can schedule a video and I can schedule eBay, but I cannot schedule a Redbubble. Did I miss the Star Ghost? Dang it. which only leaves me with one other painting besides this in the queue. So we're getting caught up, and that one's ready to go too, because it's the bike one, which will go out today, or go up today. And then there was that neon drop painting that we did, where we were like doing washes and made like a little galaxy looking thing, but with paint splatter.
Restores 1 heart of your energy.
Thank you. I heard that one. And then it's this one, so we're getting close to being caught up. All right, let's read through alerts. We have a 34-month resub from Xenofantasies, 24 months from Evar. There we go, paintbrushes. Thank you for hitting 2 years. I cannot believe people are at 24. And 35, because we have 35 from the WIO, thank you. A subscription from Tomb Raider, welcome. 19 months from Fire Goddess, 34 from Spinatrap, 23 from Cult 9, 35 from Vagabond, 31 from Sappy Bee, 9 months from Aggregated Molecules. See, all these people at 30 and like 24 is wild to me. We have 500 bits from Dragonstorm, who said, "Good morning, Mal. Have fun painting and happy Friday, everyone." Yes, we are painting. My Go Live message said only things about painting. That's what we were doing. We were going to paint today. I do want to play Yote, and I'm excited for Monday. We have 12 months from Swift for Sweeper. Thank you, Swift. Can confirm, totally. Painting with blood. Ooh. It's weird to play an M game on Twitch for me, because that's not normally what we do. We have a 35-month resub from Rowlet Hoot. Dragonstorm gifted a sub to Josh. Thank you for the gift sub to Josh. 300 bits from Aggregated Molecules, who says, "A hype train. I hope there's a dining car where I can get a Stargos. It will restore energy." We also have 300 bits from Jet, who says, "Another Stargos. Restoring all of our health today." And then we have a 34-month resub from Noah. Everyone wish Noah good luck. He has a big thing today, and he's gonna do great. Speaking of Noah, but what if Persona 5 Royale next? He's gonna do great. Alright, so I need to do the gold wash first. Where is my sketchbook? There it is, hiding behind a palette. Look at all the purple. It was this way when I was painting it. I was asking Purple Bike Friend if he had seen all of the purples, like this sheet. May his big thing be as well done as his eggs. Alright, where is a page I can test some washes on? Here we go. This, remember this with the not Technicolor, neon color washes? That's the painting that's after the bike painting. Okay, so this is what we ended up going with for our sky colors. Was a Hansa Yellow with Dogzine. An Ultramarine Burnt Sienna. But didn't we do this? This isn't Hansa. That's fine. We're going to just test yellows. And I can just paint over this whole page. I should probably move the painting. I had a piece of toast for breakfast with raspberry jam. Thus the raspberry seed that's been driving me crazy. I had 3 things happen to me that were not good yesterday. And they're all super minor and I'll be fine. But the first thing I did was I accidentally kicked an ice block with my toe. I had shoes on, but it still really hurt and my toe is bruised. Like, if this is my toe, it's like right at the face of it. Rather this way, like right at the face of my toe hurts. And then I have a habit, I guess, of like putting my toes in point and just like if I'm sitting on a table, or on a chair and I put my feet down, I put my toes down instead of putting my feet flat. And for a while I was like, God, what is wrong with my toe? It hurts. What happened? And then I remembered I kicked the ice block. Why would you do that? I was on the back porch talking to Rhonda, and there was like a bunch of like snow built up or ice from our ice storm last weekend. And I was like kicking at it, hoping to like see if I could move it so I could like loft it into the backyard so it would melt easier. And I kicked it too hard and it did not move. So this is this color. And I feel like that alone might be a good wash. Let's try it. But I'm kind of thinking yellow ochre might be the better call here, to be honest. Because it's way more gold. But here's the other thing. If I do orange, because it'll be orange and blue, and those are complementary colors, so we get a nice contrast. And that is appealing. So I have other stuff too. Ooh, I have some stuff that might even be better than yellow ochre. We'll try this first. All right, so this is our wash. It's a little heavy, so let's tone it down even a little bit more. This is fine over the gray. It's a little saturated. I can tone that down too. Oh, the other thing I did besides hurt my toe is I burned the hard palate of my mouth really, really bad last night. So that was fun. And then when I was eating dinner, I bit down on something hard and I hurt a tooth. And I'm hoping I didn't destroy the tooth like I did last time I bit on something hard. So we shall see how that progresses. What did you eat? I was eating leftovers of essentially pasta fagioli without the pasta, which is a tomato and bean dish. We were just like having it on bread, kind of like bruschetta-esque. I had made that Wednesday for dinner and it was very good. But there's sausage in it, and I guess there was a small piece of bone or something in the Italian sausage. And I just got unlucky. Okay, so that was Giari lied. I've never heard that pronounced, so I don't know that one. All right, we're gonna try ochre next. And we also have transparent red iron oxide, which is a bit more red. And we have quinacridone nickel azo. those are... And I have raw sienna. These are the same. Raw sienna has the same pigment as yellow ochre. We are going to test both of you for science. So basically you shouldn't be touching anything. I'm not normally clumsy, and I don't normally get hurt. I do get bruises unexpectedly and very easily. It seems to be a family thing, because last time I saw my grandma, iPad grandma, she was super bruised, and I was like, what happened? And she's like, I just bruise easy. And I was like, wow, that is a lot. Do I have a pencil? I do. This is yellow ochre. So now we're gonna do a glaze of that. So you can see it's slightly less saturated and like slightly oranger. Just barely. It's kind of the same. But my problem with the first one was that it was so saturated. It's just when you do get hurt, it's bad. Does this song come up every week? Paint tube is difficult to open. It's the theme song. All right, so this is raw sienna. It's just more opaque. We'll do that so I don't forget the order of the colors I did, because I'm not labeling everything. So the only difference between this and the second one is that it's more opaque. It also looks more desaturated. Interesting. And it's hard to judge exactly how much of the glazing liquid I'm mixing into this, because like I can mix more, like so. I'm leaning towards that one right now, the raw sienna. But the next two are very promising. All right, these two do have different pigments, even though they look very similar. Like, do you see how similar they look? This is going to be transparent red iron oxide and quinacridone nickel azo. And these are a lot more orange. The first three were quite yellow. Transparent red iron oxide. See how orange that is? It's so orange. And because it's transparent, we're making it even more transparent with glazing liquid. So much orange. But I think that's what I want because I do want the contrast with the blue. I do think I need a lighter hand on it though, and not as thick. It needs to be softer. More subtle. Are Steve and Mel ready for more snow? There's things I wish I could get from the store right now, but they are sold out everywhere on the East Coast, so the things I want are not gonna be gotten to my house in time. It's supposed to be snow this time and not ice, so hopefully our heat pump is fine. So, the ice is almost melted. Not yet. When people were over on Wednesday for Josh's Mother 3 stream, Steven posted to the group chat and was like, hey, if you're coming over, just so you know, the steps up to the house are really slick. And then I put down the table salt we had, just so there was something. Because, like, it's not ideal, but it's something. See, these two look so close. But this is more, it has this really yellow undertone, so you'll see that when I do the glaze with this. And it helped, because I went back out there a few hours later before everyone came over, and it was a little better. It wasn't great, but it was better. What were you? You were Quinac. Nickel azo. Yeah, this has a really sunshiny yellow undertone to it, whereas the iron oxide doesn't. So see that? See how yellow that is underneath? Maybe? I have zoomed. See how yellow this one is? There's a lot of yellow undertone there. All right, paint here. That makes Mount Fuji very green, which is why I think I'm leaning towards the more orange ones. This color is so interesting. Super interesting. All right, so if we look at just the Mount Fuji, where am I trying to catch this light? Here. So we started on this side here, and like these yellow ones are fine because they have enough of like the orange tones to not make Mount Fuji green, but this one is super green. But I think I'm still leaning towards this one, which was the transparent iron oxide. Because I know I said gold, right? Which would be more of these ones. Because I don't want to make it too green on the blue parts. Desaturated is fine, but green is not. The third myself. This one? Or 1, 2, 3, this one? Like if I go from here straight down. That's the raw sienna, and I think that's my second choice. That's this one here. And then this is the transparent iron. Yeah. I don't think it's coming across too well on camera. Yeah. Well, the quinacridone is super yellow and making it super green. It has a really nice, pretty gold undertone. That's very glass-like, but it's not good for this, I think. I like the raw sienna too. It is the most desaturated, but we already have quite a desaturated painting. Let's go to my photo. It makes me wish I had done more saturated blues here to pull that down. I can tell the middle ones are warmer. They are. They are definitely warmer. These guys here. These are the coolest ones. But you can kind of see how much the split is, because these are the same paint. This one just has more transparent in it. That's why I said it had a gold undertone, but it was very orange on its own. Because once you start to split it, you see more of the gold. All right, I think raw sienna might be it. Did I finish coffee? I did, good. I want water. All right, let's mix up a bunch of this and put this down. Palette knife? Palette knife. No. Palette knife? Oh, there you are. So, like I said, I'm going to do a very thin layer of this first. Because I want to do this as a graduated wash, where it's a lot heavier on parts of it. And then I'm going to do a second one that will let me adjust. And it'll make it, because it's a second layer, it will make it heavier on the parts I want it to be heavier on. And if you've ever watched people make paint with like a mill, like a glass mill, and then they mill the paint down with the medium, that's kind of what I have to do the washes. Because otherwise it's chunky inside that glazing liquid. shouldn't put the sketchbook away yet. Oh, that's way too transparent. And like, yeah, I want it to be transparent, but barely noticeable is a different story. Bring the sketchbook back up completely. Because I'm gonna have to keep testing this. Okay. This will be a good first layer. All right, this is going to look better in some instances and worse in others until it kind of like gets complete. So this is a trust the process thing and it makes me nervous. Let the demons win. And I'm definitely gonna need more of this. Cool. I love when that happens. I also wish I had a bigger brush. Do I have a bigger soft brush? I really don't. This is like one of the bigger ones I have. We'll just have to work fast. Come on. We have to work fast. Immediately gets a brush bristle stuck. Just kind of freaking out about how little of this glazing liquid I have mixed and how much more I'm going to need immediately. You can kind of see it from like here to the left. This is too much. I ran out of mix and tried to like mix it wet on the brush. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. It is way more noticeable. Shoot. Shouldn't have done that. What's the call here? That worked. Enough. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. I am happy with it. It needs to dry so I can kind of blend it a little bit more and do another layer. But it definitely made it the warmer color I wanted. So we're going to set this aside. And now we're going to do the same but with the water in blue. And we were using, what blue were we using? Ultramarine and Burnt Sienna. For like this. So what we're going to do is we are going to make a more blue version. Oh yeah, I'm almost out of Burnt Sienna. I don't want to put down a straight up ultramarine blue because I think that would just really throw the whole painting. And if I need it to be more blue, I can always put down a second layer of this glaze. So I'm just going to tone down the saturation a little bit. That might have been a little too much. Alright, now, glazing liquid. And I'm mixing extra this time so I don't accidentally run out in the middle of this again. I don't think that's enough. YouTube premiere. Steven was talking about doing that for the Wisconsin Christmas vlog. That looks so much better. Doesn't that though? That's not glazing liquid, that is. Didn't that really tie it a lot together? A lot together. That was good English. A lot more together and really like bring the whole piece slightly more together. There's a little bit too much, I think, so I'm trying to scrape a little bit off and smooth it out more. It tied it a lot more together visually. Yes. Good. Happy. Good and happy. Alright, I need to cover up this blue because I need to do the wash on the bottom of the canvas after it's dried and I can flip it. And then we're going to do a second wash on the sky to make it blend a little bit better because it got a little bit heavier on the one side. Good and happy. Cover up that glaze. We have a 10-month resub from Asphodelix. Good morning. I knew this wouldn't take long. I know it's been like an hour since I've been live, but the actual like 3 little washes I'm doing, like I knew those themselves would not take super long. This looks a lot more like the photograph too now. Like a ton more. All right, this can go away. And we'll bring back this one. And now we will see how. Ooh. Did I remove anything? No. That needs a second. That's fine. We're gonna make a lot more glaze where I don't run out this time. I do think I'm going to bring back a tiny bit of white into the clouds. Just a little bit. Maybe dry brush a tiny bit into some of these. Just a little bit. What's the next phase? Another layer on the sky. Because I had kind of run out right about here of what I mixed, and then this part got heavier. So I'm going to try and blend it a little bit more, and also make this a little bit more gold. And then titanium white for clouds, just a little bit. That's enough, right, this time? Surely that's plenty. It's interesting when I mix these because the blue mixed up really well, but this raw sienna is getting chunky. Like there's chunks of it in the gloss glazing liquid. So I have to, like I said, mill it a little bit with my palette knife to break those up. But the blue doesn't do that at all. The blue just kind of dissolved into it. And if I work at it, it does do it eventually. It's just different. This wasn't enough. I was only hearing part of the song, and I was like, what is this? You don't like saxophones that sound like babies crying? That's not what I heard. I hate to inform you all, this might be 3 layers that I have to do. What was I using? Sienna. I'm kind of hoping I do get snowed in this weekend, because then I can just like paint or work on the photo book I need to work on. Brave the elements on foot, go for a walk or something. Oh. Paint in Yote, not a bad idea. We'd have to do not plot things because it's not a Monday. Take Rachel out for a stroll. Just walk her around and be like, this is where we could be riding if it wasn't slippery. I have a race I'm supposed to be preparing for. I really need to get out to like the state park and do some riding on the single track out there. Ooh. I don't think that's gonna be happening before I need to go practice it. Ooh. We might be in trouble. It's only 25 miles, but it's on terrain I'm not used to and haven't ridden for a bit. I normally don't get to ride single track because normally we ride pavement. Okay, I think that's the perfect amount of transparency. Ice is terrain. It is not gravel terrain or dirt. All right, I want a tiny bit of water in this brush so this flows better, but I don't want it like dripping wet. All right. We're a little tacky on this side, but this side is dry enough. But this side is the side that needs more of this. So my goal is to even this out. And if I get it even if it's not as yellow as I want, that's better than like messing it up. Because we're already starting to get into, oh shoot, I've messed this up territory. Do not want to ruin the blue layer down here. Do not do. Actually, I'm just gonna stand up and do this. Because I have to paint the top. And then now it's all wet. And I'm trying not to, that's what I did, hit my head on the mic. Oh, that's way too opaque. What am I doing? Sorry for that. I did not mean to hit my head on the mic. I mean, it didn't hurt me. I'm just sure it was loud. And now you have to have my voice right next to the mic. And I can't see, so I need light. That looks pretty even. All right, now we can do the face. All right, let's blend this. I need some gloss glazing liquid alone in case I need it. What's left? Matching both sides of this and then bringing in some white on the clouds. Because right now it's not super matchy-matchy and we need to fix that. Shoot. I may have to step back and look at this because I think it's looking chunky on camera, but not in person, and I'm worried about that. All right, I need to step back so I can see if it's uneven. It's a little uneven in some spots. Just a little bit. But the problem is when it starts drying and it's not fully dry, it gets a lot chunkier and like it'll pick up the glaze from other spots. That might have been it. Yeah. All right, now we can bring in some titanium white. Which is right here. So I'm going to start by putting it on a few of the spots I definitely want it in, right in here. And then when the glaze is dry, hopefully at the end of that, I can just do a little bit of dry brushing on the clouds. I'm just trying to bring a little bit of highlights into these. I'm not trying to make the entire bit of the cloud here titanium white. Some of it's going to stay yellow. Can we see that? Yeah, do you see how like this group is brighter than this group so far? It's giving the clouds more texture even by doing it this way. We have a 32-month resub from my hello. Good morning. Welcome to Sudden Cloud Stream. I'm wondering if I should just do a tiny bit on the mountain. Yeah. Yeah, that was the right call too. All right, I need to move left of these little clouds, like over here. crazy how much difference a small highlight makes? Yeah. It's like the catch light in an eye if you're doing portraits. So it's like that bright highlight you get in the eyeballs. I do want to do a little bit in the sky, and I think it will help blend in some of that. I do not know if the sky is dry enough yet. It's not, but this wasn't either. I do need a bigger brush though. Let's see. Yeah. It's making it a lot dreamier, which is kind of the vibe I want anyway, so. Where can I push on the canvas so it stops making noise? You can push the new easel button. All right, that feels even. I'm happy with that. I do have to get the sides though. And the top. And I need to do it while it's wet because otherwise it won't blend the same as this has been. So let's try not to hit the mic this time. I think I need a new chair before I need a new easel. Okay. There. That feels much better. Now, the very last thing I want to do is I want to go back over my name because it got washed out with the blue, and that's fine, but I think I want it brighter. I think I said last week that it was time for a new nib on this. I didn't change it. Is this gonna go up on eBay? Yes, this will go on eBay. I'm not keeping this one. The problem with changing this nib right now is if I do it, then it's just gonna get all dried out for the next time I need it. And I'm only doing my name, so it's not like I need it to actually flow. That's better. Radio Dread, good. I will fight people for it. Okay. This needs to sit and dry, and I will have to do the blue glaze underneath it when it's dry, because otherwise it's done. But that's... you can't see that anyway. We talked about that last week. All right, let me scoop all of this onto my waste paint sheet, and we'll talk about things that are coming up. And we can talk about the fun weather that Raleigh is going to be experiencing. Fun, in quotes, yes. Let's just scoop all this here first. I did end up mixing too much of the glazing liquid for that second coat, but that's fine. It was better than screwing it up again. All right. As soon as I am done streaming, I will be going to my computer to release the bike painting, which I can go grab and show you. This one is going up for auction. And the time-lapse will go out once I'm done here. I have to go click the buttons, and time-lapse, Redbubble, and eBay are gonna go up. This one's actually wired. I normally don't wire them. If you have one of my paintings, it's never come with a wire. This is the first one that'll come with a wire. And it's because this was in a show. If you didn't see the vlog, or hear me talk about it otherwise, this was up in a show. The cycling nonprofit in Raleigh was doing an art show and did an artist call. And I know the people who work on the nonprofit board, and they were like, hey, would you do a piece? So I did this painting, and this was in the show with a bunch of people. Slick Duke says, and you won that, right? No, it was not juried. My grandmother did think I should have won, and I was like, that's very sweet of you. You didn't see the other pieces. So this was in the show, up at Morning Times in Raleigh for like a month when I was in Japan, so I didn't get to see it until like the week before they took them all down, but that was fun to get to see my work in a show. It was on a really pretty brick wall, but this is varnished and ready to go, so this will go up on eBay, Redbubble, and the video time-lapse if you want to see it. They want to do more shows, so I don't know. I was like, I can't just paint bikes. I know you all think I can, but like, I want to paint Mount Fuji sometimes. One of the people in the show does some incredible work. Her bike painting was great too, but like her normal work, I've gone and seen it at her house, at her studio. If I had thousands of dollars to spend, like, I don't know, like $5,000 to spend, I would buy one of her paintings. I really like them. Like, it's kind of a shame she's not more well known because I am in awe. And when I went to do a bike ride a few weeks later, I was like, guys, you haven't seen her work in person. You need to like go to their house and look at her work. It's phenomenal. Could you submit if it was a hidden bike? When they did the art call for this show, they were like, you know, we want bike themed stuff, but like if you're big in the cycling community and you don't have a bike themed painting, like that would be okay, but we're gonna do priority for cycling themed art and not cyclist artist. So I was like, yeah, so I could submit something, but it's not quite what they want. I don't know. We'll see if they get another show together, and maybe I have to paint my bike fender yet, because I did the purple one, but mine is going to be slightly more involved, and like I could submit that. I don't know, we'll get there. So yeah, that's coming up first, because once I'm done here, I'm gonna go click those buttons and release that. Tonight, we are going to be playing Frog Detective on Steven's channel, and I'm very excited about it, because it looks super cute. And I know some of you are incredibly excited for that, so I am also excited for that. Monday night, provided we have power, and I assume we will, because we're supposed to only get snow, I'm going to be streaming more Ghost of Yotei, which I have enjoyed very much. We moved to a new area of the game for plot, and we got a really cool hat last week. So I'm looking forward to the more cool hats we're gonna get. It's okay, you can call out Vagabond. And if I'm like really snowed in and we have power and I'm bored, maybe I'll just do non-plot stuff in Yotei. I don't know, I gotta talk to Chaz and Steven about it, because like maybe he'll be playing Hades anyway, so I can't play Yotei when he's playing Hades. We should keep up the theme of Japan paintings while you're doing Yotei. It's not a bad idea. There was a screenshot I took 2 weeks ago. And I was like, this is pretty. Vagabond says, you're going to want to voice the detective tonight while Steven speaks for everyone else. Okay. I'll do it. Yeah, so we're supposed to get anywhere from like an inch of snow to like 2 feet of snow. Last I heard it was like 8 inches of snow, which is a lot for Raleigh. There's a photo we showed on Breakfast Stream a few weeks ago of a street covered in snow, and that's Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh, and there's a car on fire, and like there's just cars scattered all over. That was for 3 inches of snow. Like only 3 inches shut down the city. Bike people were talking about the storm of 95, I want to say. And they got, I think, 12 inches in 95. And that shut the city down for over a week, they said. How did a car catch fire? No idea. So, I don't know. We're gonna see what happens. We have some food. We have less food than we had a week ago because we've eaten some of the bread. But, like, we'll see what happens. Panic. That's how it happened. I mean, I don't have to go anywhere. I can walk to a store if I need to, if the store is open. Set the bike painting down carefully. Storm of 2000 was like 20 inches. Maybe that was the year. I don't remember what year. The other artist who I really like her work, her husband was the one talking about the last big storm, because they've lived here for 40 years. Boston got over 2 feet and it was business as usual. Yeah, they've like pre-treated the roads with salt brine. It's not enough. It's not enough. Like, they don't have what they have up north here. And no one can drive in it. So like the roads aren't as well kept in the snow, and no one has any experience. Raleigh natives, I think they're originally from New York. Like, then they got married and then moved here and had 2 kids, and their kids are like, and now they have grandkids. And they bike, and our group is not a slow casual bike ride. Like him especially. Like, he prides himself on being the oldest person in the group, and he is 70. You're the baby of the group? No, I'm not. We had a 13-year-old for a few weeks showing up, and we were like, is your parents in the group? Who are you? He kept up with us, and he has like a full road bike, and we're like, where are your parents? And he's like, they'll pick me up after. And we're like, oh my God. So of course we're all like watching out for him because what the heck? So yeah, he's not even the youngest of like our normal group. Like he doesn't hang out and chat with us like after a ride. He just gets picked up and taken home. But I love that he's out doing that and keeping up with us. He's kind of cool. He got confused on what a biker gang was and joined y'all. And like his parents didn't say, hey, watch out for our kid. Oh, he's not sassy. Snow Fox says, who is this sassy lost child? He's very respectable and sweet, and like he doesn't like chat with us. He's just kind of there, and we'll talk to him and be like, hey, what's your name? Cool bike. Yeah, he did find a safe group to ride in. Our group is incredibly cool. Everyone's been super sweet and kind. It's not just a boys club, which is really nice, because I know sometimes that does happen in cycling. We have like a pretty even mix of everyone, like ages, genders, everything. It's great. Everyone's super kind and supportive, and we don't leave anyone behind if there's a problem, like if a bike breaks down or someone falls or gets hurt. Have we talked to his parents? Some people have, because there are parents in the group who are like, can I just like meet your parents? Rowan says, sometimes people can be pretty alright. Yeah, and I think that's important, is to find a community who values what you value and has common interests and supports each other. It's a great group. I've really enjoyed that group. So yeah, we're gonna see how our weather goes here in Raleigh for this weekend. I lost a paintbrush on the floor. All right, everyone. Like I said, I don't have the video up. Well, it's up. It just needs to get published. Did we roll? We didn't. Oh my God. Roll again. It's truly a tight-knit group if y'all are each other's emergency contacts. I know some people in the group are each other's emergency contacts. I have location services on for some people. So like we have Find My turned on for some of us. And the people who are normally ride lead and then sweep. So like when you're in a group, you have your ride leader who leads the ride, and you have your sweep who's making sure no one gets left behind. And the sweep normally knows how to fix bikes. Like these two people always share location, so that we can be like, oh, where's everyone else? And then we just pull up the sweep and be like, oh, they're back a block. Or, oh, they're back further. And then they'll call each other and be like, hey, what's going on? It's like, oh, so-and-so had a flat. We'll be there in 2 minutes. Okay, we'll be waiting here at this intersection. I was gonna say, are you sweep? I don't know enough about bikes. I know you might think I do, but I don't. There is someone who is always sweep. It is a particular person, and everyone knows and relies on him, and he is a really good guy. And then Purple Bike Friend was a mechanic for a while, so if the normal sweep gets stuck back trying to help someone with a mechanical, Purple Bike Friend will take over as sweep a lot of the time. Still a bike baby. One of my goals this year is to learn more about like fixing things on my bike so I feel more confident, because one of the things I have to do right now is I need to take apart the headset, which is the handlebars that go down to the front wheel. That part of the bike, how it turns to turn the front tire is really like filled with a lot of grit from a sandy trail I did. And I need to take that apart and clean it out, and I am scared to take it apart. And I also need to, my brakes are hydraulic with, I believe, mineral oil. They need to be bled so they are better. So I need to have someone teach me how to do that. And I have 2 people who can teach me and will teach me once I make time for that. I don't mind being ride lead. I'm good with directions and like calling out, because you call out on bikes. Sorry, this is turning into bike time. I can end the stream. So like if you're riding, which we normally are on the greenways in Raleigh, there's poles. Like if we cross a street and go back onto the greenway after we cross the street, there's normally a pole to prevent cars from going. So if we see a pole, like, and we're riding 2 by 2, you don't want someone to run into the pole. And if we're all close together, the people in the back normally don't see the pole, so you need to give them a heads up. So you do things like call out pole up, like because the pole is up ahead, or pole down, which is funny because sometimes the poles are down for city workers to do stuff. Or if there's someone coming up that's running on the greenway, we'll say runner up, runner left if they're coming towards us. Or like if there's another cyclist who might be a little bit slower ahead that's not part of the group, we'll say bike up, dog up. I like to say pup up, trees down. You also signal with your hands. So if you're doing a left turn, you point. And I will do this with my hand to do kind of like a blinker, but you're also doing that for cars, so cars know where you're going as a group. Or like right turn, you'll call that out. Or we'll say like branch if there's a branch in the way, and then you also point. So if you go past the pole, you'll be like, pull up, and then you point, and then you just kind of keep pointing as you move past it so everyone can see. So if they didn't hear you, you do an audio and a visual cue. It's just safety things. So you have to do pace notes like in rallycross. I don't know what those are. One of my bike friends, super nice guy, him and his wife, when they ride for the group, they'll ding their bells. So he'll ding the bell once, and then he'll call out and he'll point every time. He's a great ride lead. I love when he does ride lead. There's a big cycling culture in New England. My parents love Vermont biking. One of my bike friends here moved to Vermont, and as soon as she moved, it got cold and snowy there, and she was sad that she couldn't ride as much and meet all of the Vermont cyclists. And she's like, maybe in the spring. What I need to get is I need to get one of those runner tube things, like the vests that runners wear that are like multicolored. They look kind of like giant glow stick necklaces, but like you put them on for running so they can see you at night. I gotta get one of them. There's a few people that have them, and they are great in the dark when the sun goes down at 4 o'clock. Rave bike. I kind of want to bring back my mom's bike in Wisconsin because she doesn't ride that anymore. She rides an e-bike if she goes out. Her 1978 bike. And I want to put lights on it for fun. So I have a bike that has like gamer lights on it. I think it would be very fun. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream so I can go publish that video and release the eBay and Redbubble for the bike painting. I hope to see you all tonight for Frog Detective. It's going to be very fun and exciting. I know it is a very cute game. So look forward to that. If you are facing winter weather this week, or if you're in the southern hemisphere and facing tropical weather this week, I hope that goes well for you as well. And see you guys tonight. Have a good Friday.